Gilas Pilipinas is ready to battle in its final window of the FIBA World Cup Asian qualifiers. The Philippines will take on Lebanon on Friday, February 24, and Jordan on Monday, February 27. Both games will happen at the Philippine Arena in Bocaue, Bulacan. Now, joining us to talk about what to expect in the upcoming window is former Gilas member and basketball analyst and the Big Chill, Isaac Go. Welcome to the game, brother.
Thank you for having me again.
All right, before we started off with Gilas, let's talk about this window first. I mean, 5 teams already qualified here in Asia, which is Philippines, Japan, which
17
are the
teams
hosts.
Actually. 17 teams have already qualified.
From Asia, but only 5.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So New Zealand, Australia, and Lebanon. So only 2 slots left. They're fighting for 2 slots. So how important is this final window, Isaac, for all the teams that are going to be playing?
It's always important because you're building towards the World Cup. So every game matters, having the chance to see what the system is, what the players look like. But in terms of qualifying, I think it's very important. This is windows crucial for Jordan because, as you have said, they haven't qualified yet. They probably need one or both wins just to qualify. So it's the pressures on them to perform.
And of course, Lebanon has never lost to the Philippines. If I'm not mistaken, there will be a couple of key members from Lebanon missing this leg in particular, making it a bit easier on Gilas Pilipinas. But then the winning pedigree, Isaac, I think it's safe to say that we cannot ignore that. And of course, the strength of your entire program nila.
As they always say, when one guy out, another one will step up. And we've seen guys who've produced. They may be losing Wayan Arakji, their best scorer, their best point guard for this window, but at the same time, it gives other people the chance. Maybe guys like Ali Haidar takes on a bigger role, and now you can see now how are these players going to respond with a bigger role and hopefully bigger production.
Well, of course, from the games, let's talk about the pool that we have right now. No final lineup yet for this final window, but one thing's for sure, there's no Jordan Clarkson in this window, of course. The naturalized player is Justin Brownlee. How does this change the landscape for the Gilas Pilipinas team? We're finally going to see him play for Gilas.
I think everyone's excited because this is a long time coming. This is going to be his first Gilas games donning that jersey. And I think when you compare him to Clarkson more like a 2-3-4, while Brownlee's more of a 3-4.
Right.
But Brownlee, of course, we know he can score. We know he's a veteran. And we've seen what he can do, especially with a Filipino crowd behind him.
Probably more Pinoy than JC. I mean, just
in terms
of being here in the Philippines and all that, right?
Well, he did say change his name to Justin Noipi. But when you take a look at itong si Justin Brownlee, and of course, every member of the crowd is going to be behind him. I wouldn't be surprised if there were never a chance for him at the venue. But then you take a look at the pool. One glaring problem that the team has is injured si Isaac Go.
Yes.
Wala silang big.
No, it's not just me.
But all joking aside, Isaac, I'm sorry that's a joke. Pero the big man situation of Gilas Pilipinas is not ideal. Kai Soto, not part of the window. A few injuries here and there in terms of the big man. Japet Aguilar, not there as well. How can Gilas Pilipinas cope with this?
Number one, you have one of the greatest PBA players of all time, in Junmar Fajardo, and I think there may be people thinking that he's slowing down, he's getting up there in age, but Junmar Fajardo is still one of the best Filipino basketball players that we have. And of course, we're gonna see Justin Brownlee probably a little bit out of position because his best position is probably the 3, but I think with the height problem, he'll be sliding more to the 4, and maybe we see some young guys like Mason Amos, Kevin Kimball get more of a chance to perform and given the role on how to see they will fit in Gilas' future plans.
And Isaac, one quick question. I mean, you've played in the UAAP, in international for Gilas as well, and in the PBA. What's the difference between, professional basketball and international basketball? Because, why can't we just fill in the team with all the best professional players and not just, now we're thinking about who to put in and all that?
I think number one, everyone is bigger, stronger, faster, better.
Right.
Yeah.
In the most basic level possible, but at the same time now, experience plays a big factor. And fit. Because you only play 2 games, 3 games. It's not a lot. You don't have the chance to wait for them to gel. Like, you have to see who fits well together, who fits certain roles that the team may need, and who will become the leader out of the group.
Well, it's talking about leadership and of course talking about these guys playing alongside each other. May mga bata rin on the team, in terms of Shawnee Winson, Jerome Lastimosa, Mason Amos, as you mentioned as well. And the question now is how can the chemistry continue building here for this Gilas Pilipinas team? Because a lot of these guys have played with each other, of course, but then the road to the World Cup, FIFA Basketball World Cup, will require a bit more time together as well.
And that means that's where I think another thing comes is you have the timetable speeds up.
Yeah.
You can't wait for anybody now because constantly building for the next window, next tournament. These young guys have to get along, have to get on the bus with these veteran guys, with the leaders of the team, and have to gel quickly.
So for this upcoming window, I mean, for Gilas, they still want to win. They still want to, get things done here. What do you think they should focus on more, especially now with new players coming in, Isaac?
Number one is probably the defensive end. We know that we have guys who can put the ball in the basket. We have Justin Brownlee. But it's going to be in the defensive end because I don't think we'll have problems putting points up on the board. It's if we can contain the opponent our opponents to a lower score than us.
Well, scoring is not going to be an issue again based on the talent that we have there. But Isaac, we're not letting you go yet. We're going to ask even harder questions when we return because our Gilas discussion continues after the break. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game.